A jungle is shown at the start of the film. Here, a sloth is perched on a tree by the river. Suddenly, a crocodile lunges from the water, snapping at the sloth. After a few seconds, we see blood in the water. Maybe the crocodile ate the sloth. Yet surprisingly, after a while, we see the sloth coming out of the water. He somehow escaped the crocodile's attack. However, he could not escape a hunter's attack, who made him unconscious with a gun and put him in his bag to take him with him. On the other hand, we see that the crocodile that attacked the sloth is injured and dead. This means this sloth was not an innocent animal, but a bloodthirsty beast. After the scene cuts, we see two girls who are college students. Among them, Emily is the main character of our movie. Emily's friend Madison was with Emily. Emily was a social media addict, uploading pictures on her social media again and again. Madison didn't like this at all, so she got angry and left. After leaving, Emily sees a dog here, whom she catches and starts taking selfies with him. But the owner of the dog praises Emily, saying, "You are soft-hearted, you love animals." They both take pictures with this dog, and Emily uploads this picture on social media. They have some talks about social media here, and Emily also sees a picture of a sloth in this man's account. She was very impressed by this. This man tells her that such an animal can be made a pet, and because of this, followers on social media also increase very quickly. And if you want to take it, then contact me, he says, handing her his card. After the scene, we see Emily in Madison's college. Here we meet a girl named Sydney, who goes one Libon, their college, and in their college hostel. This time, too, she is going to stand for the election of the House President. Everyone liked her because she was very beautiful and very stylish, but they were also afraid of her because she was very proud and also very rich. She belonged to a powerful family. Soon as his Squidapien Mumbly comes to her room, she finds out that someone is behind her. Whatever it was, Emily had already beaten him. Then she finds out that this was her own friend, who had only come here to surprise her. Now we meet the warden of Emily's hostel, who tells Emily that when her mom was studying in this college, she was the house president. And she informs Emily that she can also stand for the election. Emily knew that she could not win from Sydney, but in some time, she also wanted to become the house president. That's why she decides to take part in the election. Now, there was only one way to win the election. She needed to become as popular as Sydney. Speaking of popularity, she remembers that if she wants to increase her followers, she can take a sloth. This idea was very unique. That's why Emily contacted that man and decided to buy a sloth from him. That man told Emily a location, to which she came the next day and took the sloth. The scene cuts, and now we see the man who is about to take the same sloth out of the cage and take it for a walk. So this sloth attacks the man with its claws and kills him. The next morning, when Emily reached that man's house, he was not receiving her calls. The house was also very scattered. She did not see that man anywhere here, but her eyes fell on the sloth, which looked very scary. That's why Emily, without telling anyone, picked him up and left from here. When she came back to her hostel with him, she saw that Sydney was meeting some girls. After that, she did not like at all that someone was standing for the election in her opponent. Seeing Emily, Sydney's increases even more. She follows her and in anger picks up the box in her hand and throws it down the stairs. There was a sloth in this box, and she did not know this. As soon as the sloth comes out of the box, all the girls find it very cute. Emily quickly picks up her sloth in her lap. Sydney tells her that according to the rules, she cannot keep any pets in this hostel. In response, Emily tells her a new rule, that if more people vote for her, then she will be able to keep this pet here. Many girls vote to keep the sloth here. Hearing this, Emily is very happy. She also announces that she is going to participate in the election of the House President this time. Hearing this, Sydney was very angry, but Sydney could not do anything right now because of this sloth, Emily's popular task. But Madison, who is Emily's friend, didn't like this animal. She advises Emily to leave this animal wherever it is, i.e., in the jungle. We will not be able to adjust here, she says. But Emily does not listen to her either. Because of this sloth, her social media followers were also increasing very quickly. Here, Emily's other friend gives her some tablets for the sloth. Because of this, when the sloth goes to the people, he does not take much anxiety. Sydney tells her friend to take Emily's sloth far away from here. Because of this, Emily's popularity will decrease and her chances of winning the election will increase. The scene cuts, and we look at Emily, who gives the medicine to the sloth at this time. After feeding him, she could take him to the people, after which he herself goes to get ready. Behind her we see that this sloth is running her computer, just like she is a human being. He was understanding everything. Opening Emily's profile, he had all seen the picture of the man who had brought him here from the jungle. Seeing this, he goes crazy with anger and spits the tablet in his mouth. Emily also gets ready and comes out. The sloth acts normal in front of her, and Emily picks him up and brings him to the party. At the party, everyone is liking the sloth a lot. Now, the girl to whom Sydney had given the task of taking the sloth away from here asks Emily, "I find it very cute. So will you give him to me in my lap for a while?" Emily listens to her and gives the sloth to her lap. On Sydney's signal, the girl takes the sloth away from here to the jungle. Sydney's work was done and the girl returned to the hostel. But she didn't know that the sloth didn't go back to the jungle. He was also heading towards their hostel building. When he was crossing the road, he was saved by a car, but then he finally made it to the hostel building. While climbing the building, he reached the girl's window, where she had left him near the jungle. The sloth put all his anxiety tablets in the girl's glass. Because as we know, the sloth is not an ordinary sloth. He is very cunning and takes revenge on those who do evil to him. That's why he was going to take revenge on this girl too. As soon as this girl drinks the tablet, she falls down. Now she could see the sloth too. She thought she was getting illusions, but the sloth was actually there. Sometimes here and sometimes there, he attaches himself like a ghost. First, he scares the girl a lot. Then he jumps on her, stabs her with his big nails, and kills her. Here we see that the party was over. Everyone was going back because it was going to rain. While Emily was looking for her sloth, that's when Sydney comes to her and says, "Oh, you are looking for the sloth, right? She left him in the jungle." Knowing this, Emily is very sad. She comes out to find him, but she can't do much in the heavy rain and darkness. Desperate, she comes back to her room. She is crying for the sloth. Suddenly, she sees the sloth alive in her room. Seeing him, Emily is at peace. She quickly picks him up and hugs him, not knowing that this sloth has just murdered a girl. In the dark, Emily couldn't even see that the sloth's hands were badly stained with blood. What happened was that a member of their group had disappeared, and they didn't pay attention to this. Days passed, and the sloth was living here with everyone. One day, when everyone was playing basketball, a girl accidentally dropped the basketball on the sloth. The sloth catches her like a human and tears her apart with his nails in anger. He was now angry with this girl too. That's why at night he goes and murders this girl. Anyone who does anything wrong with the sloth, or anyone whom the sloth dislikes, becomes his targets. The sloth goes and murders them. He attacks anyone with his nails or by using electricity. Interestingly, all these murders are not revealed to anyone because the sloth hides the bodies of people after killing them. No one even looks for them because the sloth himself posts on their Instagram account, saying that they are going somewhere. That's when Emily's friend Madison notices that Emily's followers are increasing day by day. However, she still feels like something is wrong. That's why she wants to talk to Emily's other friend, who is also sitting next to Emily. The sloth is also there. The sloth opens a bottle of beer in front of the three of them, and after drinking the beer, he acts like a human. Emily and the other girl do not bother with this at all, while Madison has noticed that this is very abnormal behavior for an animal. Now, Emily stands up from the pool and goes inside to get some things. Taking advantage of the situation, Madison is about to run away with the sloth. She wants either to leave the sloth in the jungle or in a shelter. He shouldn't stay with her friend Emily. So just then, Emily comes back and catches her. Without knowing that her friend wants the best for her, she fights with her friends here. During their fight, the sloth puts Emily's phone out of her pocket and throws it on the road. As soon as Madison comes to pick up her phone, a car passes over her and she has a very bad accident. The sloth did it on purpose. He was watching from a distance while the car was coming. He knew that when Madison would pick up the phone, the car would pass over her. Madison is badly injured and is now admitted to the hospital. The good thing is that she didn't die. Seeing her friend in this condition, Emily is very sad. She promises Madison that she will fix everything. So soon as the election is over, she will leave the sloth in the shelter. The election was about to happen tonight, but before the election, the sloth kills 2 more girls. After killing the 2 girls, he finds the location of the hospital from the cell phone of one of the victims, where Madison is admitted because he wants to kill her. So outside, he steals Emily's car and leaves for the hospital. He drives the car better than any human. At the hostel, they don't report their car or the people's disappearance because all the girls are busy with the elections. All the girls are wearing red gowns and Emily is eagerly waiting for the results. Votes are being counted. Sydney is just about to win, but suddenly Emily wins because she has a few more votes. And after the scene cuts, we are shown the hospital where the sloth takes off Madison's oxygen mask to kill her and then puts a pillow over her mouth, trying to suffocate her. Before Madison dies, a nurse enters the room from which the sloth had gone down to hide. The nurse picks up the pillow from Madison's mouth and puts her oxygen mask back on. In this way, Madison's life is saved once again. On the other hand, Sydney is very angry in the hostel. To share her grief over her defeat, as soon as she goes to her friend's room, she finds her dead body in the washroom. Seeing this dead body, she screams loudly, but no one can hear her voice. Emily and her friends, while celebrating their victory, talk about the missing people and wonder where they have gone. While talking, Emily thinks of bringing some things from her room. As soon as she goes upstairs, she hears Sydney's scream. When she follows the voice and reaches the room, she sees the sloth sitting on Sydney's head. Without wasting time, Emily hits the sloth's head and makes him unconscious. Now she is convinced that Madison was telling the truth. This animal is very dangerous. To save their lives from the sloth, the 2 girls hide in the washroom where the other girl's dead body is seen. Seeing this dead body when Sydney screams in fear again, Emily slaps her to make her quiet. As she says, "This is not the time to panic, we need to save ourselves." When they realize that the sloth has left the room, they come out of the washroom, taking the commode lid with them. But the sloth is sitting on a chair, waiting for them. Seeing this, Sydney goes back to the washroom and closes the door, leaving poor Emily stuck there. As soon as the sloth jumps to attack her, she uses the commode lid in her hand like a shield and hits the sloth hard. The sloth falls out of the commode. Emily thinks that he is dead, but then she sees the sloth standing up. She quickly goes back and warns the other girls about the danger of the sloth. But all the girls are busy at the party, and before she can reach the bottom, the sloth leaves an electric wire in the water of the washroom and kills everyone with an electric current. Only Emily's 3rd friend is able to escape. The sloth goes to the warden of the hostel after killing everyone. The warden is also drunk at this time. She sees the sloth first and defends herself for a while. She succeeds, but then the sloth overpowers her and stabs her in the stomach with his big nails, killing her. Meanwhile, we see Emily's friend, who was running Instagram. He sees pictures of the girls in the hostel one after another, with the sloth behind them. All the girls' eyes are closed, indicating that something is definitely wrong. To investigate, he quickly comes to the hostel. He arrives to find a big mess there. He wants to save Emily, so they decide to kill the sloth together. Emily's 3rd friend, who survived, has a sword in her hand with which she wants to kill the sloth. The three of them become a team and move forward to kill the sloth. So soon as the girl starts attacking the sloth with the sword, he easily escapes from her attack. He knows martial arts and manages to take the sword from her. Before he can kill her with the sword, the injured Madison, who was admitted to the hospital, comes in with a gun. From behind, Madison shoots the sloth and he falls. All of them think the sloth is dead. Along with Madison, Emily's friend is also injured, so it is necessary to take them to the hospital. The boy takes them to the hospital. While Emily turns to confirm whether the sloth is dead or not, she can't believe it. She wants to stab him with a big rod and kill him. Before she can stab him, the sloth runs away. Emily's other companions have gone to the hospital, and now Emily is alone in the hostel. She knows that all of this has happened because of her, and now she has to fix it. At the same time, Emily calls out for the sloth. Meanwhile, Sydney comes down the stairs, and the sloth is sitting on her with his big nails on her neck as if he will kill her. The sloth asks Emily to throw her sword at him by pointing at her. As soon as Emily throws the sword, the sloth jumps on her. Before the sloth can kill her, Emily shoots him with a hidden gun. This time her attack works, and the sloth is about to die. Before he dies, the sloth points to a painting of a jungle, indicating that he wants to go back to his jungle. But it is too late, he dies. After his death, the hostel is called SlotherHouse. After some time, we see that there is hustle and bustle in the hostel again, just like before. No one is afraid to live here, perhaps because no one knows how many people have been killed here. In the last scene, we are shown a jungle where a group has gone for a tour. Here, a girl takes a picture with the sloth. The story ends here. Thanks for watching.